If you're thinking of selling your home, I have some advice for you. Don't list it. Yeah, you heard me right. Don't list your home. You may be leaving some cash on the table. But here's a clue. Pablo Picasso never listed any of his art. Neither did Banksy. And I'm going to take you through my absolute sales program and show you the new way home sellers are maximizing their home's value. I bet you're a bit like me. You want to sell your home for as much as possible, and you want to control the terms of the sale. But check this out.
Rollo May, the distinguished psychiatrist, wrote a wonderful book called Man's Search for Himself. And in this book, he says, the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice. It is conformity. And there you have the trouble today. It's conformity. People acting like everyone else without knowing why, without knowing where they're going. Now think of it. In America right now, there are over 18 million people 65 years of age and older. And most of them are broke. They're dependent on someone else for life's necessities.
So I have some questions for you to consider. Can you tell me why you list your home the way you do? Why you use the photos you use, or the amount of photos? Can you tell me specifically why you list and sell your home the same way everyone else always has? Don't worry. I'm going to show you how to sell your home for top dollar without listing it traditionally. My goal for you during this short time that we have together is to take away two things. Number one, the only way for you to sell your home for top dollar is to create a bidding war. If you aren't competing up, then you're negotiating down. And number two, the only way to create a bidding war is through creating FOMO in the marketplace. And where does the buyer's fear come from? Well, it comes from pain. Pain that they won't act quick enough, or that someone will act quicker than them, or that someone will pay just a bit more than they were going to offer. You see, you must create a bidding arena for these buyers to compete on so that A, you can define the actual market value of your property, and B, so that the buyers will feel comfortable increasing their initial thought value of the home. Because, hey, if another buyer is willing to compete with them on price, clearly the value of the property is there. Remember, the value is in the eye of the beholder, not the appraiser. And through these two natural laws, we're able to direct a response that simply isn't happening in traditional sales. And this is very important, so I want to make sure that you're paying attention. But if I asked you to name one specific area of the sale that you would wish to control, you'd probably pick the price of the sale, the time of the sale, or the amount of competition involved in the sale. At least most people would. And the good news is, with our program, you can control the sale. And controlling the sale begins with defining a specific timeline that the property will be sold on to the best and highest offer. And we do this to increase traction, traffic, and participation, or what I like to call competition. With a timeline and restricted showing access, we're able to establish an arena for the buyers to compete on, which creates a massive sense of urgency and piques the buyer's FOMO. And when the buyer's fear of missing out is peaked, and you've defined a timeline for your house to sell on, you effectively establish an arena for the buyers to compete against each other on without ever having to negotiate against them. Now, in my career, I've done a lot of things right, which is why I'm here talking to you. I even met my wife after I successfully sold her parents, my now in-laws, home. And you want to talk about a commission, check out this photo of us getting married in Italy. But I've also done a lot of things wrong, and that was expensive. And I want to save you from that. So after more than a decade of experience, I've discovered these three things. One, the market value is elastic, which means what your home is worth today can be different tomorrow. And number two, nobody knows if they're getting the actual market value of their home. I mean, I'm shocked at how many times I've had listing agents ask me not to show their listing or not to place an offer on the property because they've already received too many. But what if we were gonna offer more? Wouldn't that be in the best interest of everyone? From my experience, traditional listing agents just don't know how to handle multiple offer scenarios. You need a transparent platform that creates an arena for the buyers to compete on. And buyers won't let the home sell for less than it's worth. So if your home's really worth $400,000 or $500,000 or $5 million, then the buyers won't let it sell for less than it's worth. I mean, heck, a competition which starts a bidding war is your best chance at selling for more. Now, this took me a lot of time and even more money selling homes traditionally to understand. And as I see it, you have three options. First, the hard way. List your home traditionally. Test the market. Hang in there for a while and see what happens. Then switch brokers and try it all over again. Best of luck to you. Second is the lazy way. Just hang on to your home. Don't sell it. Let your kids or your kids' kids worry about that asset after you're gone. Or third, you could try a not so traditional marketing approach, creating a sense of urgency and establishing the fear of missing out in the marketplace, which will result in a quick sale for top dollar. Now, of these three options, what's going to be easiest for you? As you can see, this is an easy decision to make. And why wouldn't it be? I'm offering you the chance to not only control the terms of the sale of your home, but to also create a bidding arena which will drive the sale to top dollar while leaving the buyers enthusiastic and confident about the selling price. I have three secrets regarding selling homes that I want to share with you. First, controlling the sale begins with defining a specific timeline that the property will be sold on to the best and highest offer. And we do this to increase traction, traffic, and participation, or what we like to call the competition of the sale. Now, some people may think, well, that's crazy. Why would you not define a price first? And that's an easy question for me to answer. It's because I don't like to create ceilings for myself. You see, I'm in the business of trying to set as many sales records as I can. And I simply can't do that when I create a cap for my product. So let me tell you a story about a beautiful luxury home in Mesa, Arizona This house was on the market traditionally for almost half a year. In that time, the seller had lowered the asking price of his home by $250,000. And he still had no showings, no offers, and no buyer's interest. Oh, by the way, he was paying 2 mortgages at this point. I was able to help him by taking it off of the traditional market. We then relaunched his home with an absolute sales message and timeline for the property to be sold on. And we carried out an intense marketing campaign that drove 147 people to the home in 8 days. Of those 147 showings, we had 10 registered buyers and received 12 offers submitted on the home. That resulted in a sale that shattered a 12 to 13-year sales record in the private community. Now, the second secret I want to share with you is, with a timeline and restricted showing access, we are establishing an arena for the buyers to compete on, which creates a massive sense of urgency, and their FOMO is peaked. Most people would understand this best when I use the analogy of the empty restaurant versus the packed house restaurant. Pretend you're on vacation and there's 2 restaurants located right next door to each other. One is empty. It's like a ghost town. And the other has a line out the door. Which one do you want to eat at? The best way to do this in real estate is to structure showing opportunities on a strict schedule. For example, I don't allow showings to happen unless it's on my predetermined dates and times. And why do we do this? It's because I want all of the buyers to see each other and gain the understanding that it's not just them in this game. And the other buyers, oh yeah, they have just as nice cars, clothes, and families as theirs. This is going to be a competition, but one with great opportunity. And third, unless you're competing up, you are negotiating down. Here's a real-life example of what an arena of competing buyers looks like. Here's the platform of the live bidding taking place. You can see where the bidding begun, how it progressed, and where it ended. But Cody, what if my house doesn't sell for as much as I'd like? Now, I understand that concern. I get it. And remember, I get paid based off of the price of the sale. So you and I, we share a common goal in wanting to sell for as much as possible. And that's why I have established the bidding terms. So please focus on the top line. If the property does not meet the reserve, which is set by you, then the seller, which is you, can accept or reject the high bid. So remember that property I just told you about, Citrus Manor? Well, that happened to be the highest priced home to sell in the last 13 years in this community. However, the seller really wanted to set a reserve at $1.65 million for his home, which he clearly has the right to do. So because our bidding did not meet the reserve that the seller wanted, we were able to negotiate with the high bidder to bring his offer up to the number that my seller wanted to accept. And we were only able to do that because we generated so many buyers with our auction message, which were not present prior when the home was listed traditionally. And once they got to the home, their emotions were peaked and they were in love with the house. They needed it. That's exactly why our message is so important. So here's a quick CMA of the area just to prove my point. This was the highest home to sell in the last 13 years. Okay, so I know you're busy and so am I. That's why I made this presentation as efficient as possible. What we'll need to do is schedule an appointment so that we can discuss your home directly and cover everything that you need to know, as each home is different and my program is tailored to fit the property, the community, and the seller individually. And I believe that all real estate professionals would agree that the hardest part about listing a property is getting people to the door. But I'm going to tell you about how I can help you get 200 plus people to your listings in an 8-day period. And just imagine the look on your neighbor's face when you sell your home in record time and had multiple competing offers. With an absolute sale, this is what you can expect. An arena of competing buyers which will drive the price of your home as high as possible. The ability to control all the terms and the times of the sale. And when the market competes, you can actually prove and cement the market value of the home. The value's in the eye of the beholder, not the appraiser, and definitely not the tax district. And lastly, you get a successful closing because of the teeth that our contracts and platforms sink into the buyer. I'm sure you're curious, does this program work for me? Well, this is who it's worked for in the past. We've had luxury homes, condos, multifamily properties, and typical single-family homes. Now, I had two choices when I made this program. First, I could have just stuck in the luxury market and only sold homes that were valued at $2.5 million and above. Or I could lower the barriers to entry for both the buyers and the sellers, which allows me to sell homes ranging from $300,000 all the way up to $30 million. So if all this did was brought you a handful of buyers to negotiate with, would it be worth it? Oh yeah. If all this did was got you to your next dream home, would it be worth it? You bet. If all this did was generate a bidding war on your home so that you felt confident and you got top dollar, would it be worth it? Of course. So let me ask you a real question. If I were to meet or exceed your bottom line price, then would you accept an offer on your home? Are you ready to sell? If so, then let's get started today, and you can save 50% off of the average listing commission fee. So now you have two choices. As a home seller, you can try listing your home traditionally. You can test the market, hang in there for a while, and see what happens. Then switch brokers. Try it all over again. Best of luck to you. Or you can try a not so traditional marketing approach, creating a sense of urgency and establishing the fear of missing out in the marketplace, which will result in a quick sale for top dollar. I'm willing to bet you're going to love the results of an absolute sale. This is going to be the easiest home selling experience you have ever had. But hey, this is real estate. There is no silver bullet. So this is the only guarantee I will make you. If you don't like the results for any reason, I don't care if I exceed your price expectations by $1 million, you don't have to sell. So again, let me ask you this. Why are you selling your home the same way everyone else always has? I understand that there are a lot of new things going on in the real estate world. Both this tried and tested method, remember, the city of Rome was sold at auction about 500 years ago. You get complete control. Here's how we get the ball rolling. Visit me at chatwithcody.com and pick a time that works well for the both of us to have an appointment about your home. I look forward to our conversation. Thank you for joining me today.